Hello and welcome to the Hat Chat Podcast, episode 161.
That's right, 161. I'm Ross Hornby.
Oh, he is Ross Hornby.
I'm Alex Smith, and that music was by Robert Clark. Thank you very much for that jangly little ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding.
I'm Chris Trott.
He is Chris.
Welcome.
If you had to listen to that music anywhere, like a setting, where would you? Do you think?
I'd like it like a bowling alley or a roller rink.
bowling alley.
Funeral?
Yeah. A funeral.
Funeral would be
You
good.
play that song at a
Yeah,
funeral?
as though like they put the casket in for burning for the cremation.
It's so weirdly joyous, but also like very elevatory. Like there's something light about it. Do you know what I mean?
It's disco.
It's disco-y.
The full
roller
thing
rink,
will be at the end of the episode, so thank you, Robert Clark, for sending that in. You can also send your fingers in to our email. We still use electronic-mail, hatchat-films.com. Thank you kindly.
What's a hyphen?
It's a dash. Hyphen is a dash, yeah.
Good.
Just a little line that's not underneath letters, it's horizontal, like in between letters.
Yeah, I hope that's universal though, because like sometimes having to explain a hyphen and a dash is even more
Anytime I do it, like, what's your email on like a phone thing, customer service, I always try and say hyphen, and they're like, what was that? And I always have to say dash.
Okay.
I thought that would be more like specific to that symbol.
Say dash first, and then if they're quite confused, hyphen, and then you have if you really have to explain it, that little line.
It's the little line
line
next to the plus.
No, not under score.
Don't hold shift. It's just tap that one next to the plus button. Thank you.
Anyway, it's actually February 29th today. What does that make that today special?
It's a leap year.
Oh, it's also
a leap day.
It's the release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah, that too. That's not we're not
a huge day for Alex
like
Smith. Look at him. He's beaming. He can't wait for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second part of the remaster of Final Fantasy VII, or remake.
So that's good. Do you think it's going to be a much bigger game than the last one?
Apparently, it's huge.
Huge.
Like they're doing the open map thing.
Okay. So the first one felt a little bit like it was just like a fluffer.
Oh yeah,
like it was like
big build.
Oh, let's just
like Doom 1.
And obviously, because if you played the original, the very original, you can do everything in it. In that,
well, you have to swap discs.
Yeah, but that's only because of a 700 megabyte
limitation.
Yeah.
Whereas they
really, gave you the whole thing.
They're padding it out now.
So they gave you the tip, and now this is what most of the length.
Yeah, but
I don't know why that's the analogy I've gone with.
If you have played it recently and you do get to disc 2, I know this is boring as fuck for Alex Smith.
Disc 2, don't spoil it.
That's all right. I can. So I'll just empty brain for a bit.
It's very much.
I find it very relaxing to not think. So go for it.
Shut off for a sec.
It's pretty good.
Disc 2 is an illusion of world map. Like you get that 3D map.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you can only go certain places until you've done certain parts of the story, and also you're literally just going to an area. It's loading a small zone. You do that. So I think nostalgia brain is like, it was a huge world map where everything opens up and you can do so much.
Did you ever run around in like the same bush area like thousands of times? Not just to get chocobos, just to level up.
Just to level up and grind. Yeah, you needed to grind.
Bush.
Like it wasn't
the same
balanced.
bush, but over and over and over and over again.
Certain bosses you needed to grind for because you're like, I'm underleveled.
As in, I would just tap A.
Rubber band. Rubber band on the joystick.
Back in the circle.
Well, the new games.
Round and round and round again. I don't know if you could do that in this new one.
Have you played any of the remasters where they, like, you press L1 and R1 and it just speeds up the game?
Oh, shit. No, I have. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
They've just add that in because they know how fucking grindy it is.
Well, you can cheat entirely. You can just make yourself max.
No, yeah.
Which obviously there's no point in the game at all. Then
I'm here for the story.
The story's fine, sure, but like,
and to feel like an absolute god whilst progressing through an easy okay, summons.
Yeah,
let's get the knights on this.
Oh my god, the big summons are out.
Bahamut.
Well, okay. Well, I'm glad that's out on a day that only exists every 4 years. That's pretty cool.
It's magical.
What if something really important happened today? How do you celebrate that next year?
We just say it happened.
You say 28th, or which day would you choose?
You could choose whichever one you like.
Would you choose the 1st of March
get the luxury
or the
of both.
28th of February? Or would you turn both of those into
a
magnanimous day?
What do leap year babies do? Obviously, they don't do anything.
At 1/4 of the speed.
They are,
so what's their age?
They're born today.
Apparently,
they're like Dunedin. They just like.
I think I spoke to Duncan earlier. He said, like, if you were born today and you're my age, you'd be born in the 1800s or something like that. Like the math
Sounds like you guys
of
really
being a
saw eye
30
to eye in this conversation.
for being
What?
a 37-year-old born on a leap year
37-year-old born on a leap year.
would have to be from the 1800s.
Oh, if you
To be the
only
same age.
counted the years with leap years in them.
yes, because it's
Right.
4 times essentially
Right. Okay. Yeah.
the age.
Yeah.
But obviously that's insane.
Yeah, obviously
it's like we're
that's
doing an
nuts.
arbitrary calendar
Yeah.
to like dictate someone's age. No, it's revolutions around the sun.
But would you feel more special or hard done by?
More special.
More special.
If today was your birthday.
Yeah.
Because like when it
Well, happy
lines
birthday
up,
to everyone whose
when
birthday
it's
today.
when it's on that leap year,
It's huge.
fuck me.
It's actually
Yeah.
my
Every
fucking
4 years.
birthday. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a fun.
I get
fun
fucking
thing.
crazy.
Well, you
Yeah.
would get crazy.
I would go insane on that day. Wouldn't you?
I don't.
Leap year fucking day,
I would
29th.
strip myself naked, paint myself with deer blood and mud, and run through the forests of Dean.
Also, I'd
Why? Well, you might get attacked by a
By Dean.
badger.
I had this theory that the people of Gloucester called it the Forest of Dean because once a year they meet and have all the people called Dean in the area compete in like a Hunger Games style environment.
Deans.
In the Forest of
Unite Deans.
Deans.
Show yourselves, Deans.
And each,
Come out of the mud.
The
each
Forest
year,
of Deans.
There's one Dean that wins and like roams the place like a stag.
Yeah.
Mega Dean.
I see the Dean. He's glowing. He's got antlers.
He's strapped into his head like that QAnon shaman.
Yeah.
The Dean of the Forest.
Anyway, well, that's February 29th covered.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's a special
leap year
day
covered.
for some people every 4 years.
If I was born on a leap year, I'd have both of my birth years as well. Like, sure, I'm 29 or whatever, but actually I'm 4 or something like that.
You think they would make it some sort of like bank holiday for like
7.
every 4 years?
I mean, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? Celebrate the
Once
people.
every 4 years.
I mean, it really is
Well,
sick.
day.
the
We-
inaccuracy of a
save
Roman
up
calendar
those
should be
hours.
celebrated.
Yeah, it is.
Save
kinda
up those
silly.
hours and then take a day.
We should switch to souls, shouldn't we?
We should. We should go with space time now, like relative to the orbiting sun.
Yeah.
One soul.
And that would be cool. That would make people feel like they're sort of part of progress, I think.
Yeah.
Like, even if they're not. But,
Then-
like
Have they
propaganda-wise or culturally, it'd be kind of nice to be like...
How's time handled in a game like Stellaris? Like where it's multi-solar systems.
Like months, I think.
And how do they relatively do sync time between suns and
they
planets?
use universal time, I think.
It's an atomic clock.
Is there an atomic clock?
But what is that based on? So there's got to be one solar system that they're like, we're basing all of universal time on this revolution.
Honestly, I can't tell you.
Why not?
I'm sorry. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I've been too busy trying to make weird creatures do strange things to each other and live in systems of government.
Different priorities.
Different
That's fair
priorities
enough.
rather than like what time is it?
What time is it though? Oh, it's just local
It's just a
time.
real time or is this the
I
time
just
you
want to
made?
know before we do anything else. How many seconds have gone by for you? Am I using faster than light communication? Because technically,
what's
I'm
the
talking
delay?
to you in the past.
Yeah. What's the latency here?
We could cheat various stock markets using this technology like big time.
Yeah.
You want to get rich?
You would think they would have thought of that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Instantaneous communications. First person to crack that gets real rich.
You sent us something last night, which is
I did.
space-based.
It is very Stellaris and space
Go
based.
on, Alex. Go on.
Go for it, Smith.
Go on.
Explain
Well,
what exactly you
Do you want, can I
want to
read the
discuss.
article?
You can,
So,
if your eyes allow you.
the mathematically perfect exoplanet system, a great place to search for alien tech. This is
There we
on
go.
space.com.
Here we go.
Late last year, astronomers discovered a fascinating star system only 100 light years away. Its 6 sub-Neptune planets circle very close to their host star in mathematically perfect orbits, piquing the interest of scientists searching for alien technology or techno-signatures, which they argue would offer compelling evidence of advanced life beyond Earth. To be clear, no such evidence was found in the system. However, the researchers say they're not done looking yet. It remains an interesting target for similar observations in the future. So here's the details on it.
Just quickly,
Yeah.
100 light years, just 100 light years away.
Yeah.
Would take the rough astronaut between 400 and 413 years to get there.
It's quite long, isn't it? Doesn't feel like your classic holiday.
Yeah. So although it's close in light year
Yeah, but
terms,
that's how they measure all this stuff. It's never.
it's
gonna
all
be like-
big, isn't it? It's all too big.
Yeah,
It's all too vast. But anyway, yeah, you found the perfect mathematically perfect situation of a solar system to have life?
So yeah, there was a good explanation of it on Reddit. Essentially, it followed, I think, the Fibonacci pattern or something like that.
3.14.
Something like that. Is that that's pi? But
Yeah,
is that
which
also
is the Fibonacci. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's the golden ratio.
Yeah. So it followed the golden ratio. So like 9 planets surrounded the star, then 4, then 3, or whatever. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the proper because the article I linked to you doesn't actually have the.
It would suck. It's like
explanation.
obviously the chances of having life
Here we go. This is it.
pretty minuscule to begin with.
Yeah.
Also, there's a whole thing about another planet being embedded in the Earth's crust, but that's a different thing. But you may have the best home ever for life. There could be no one home.
Well, the more interesting thing about this, I think, is like it's not necessarily that the conditions in the system were like good for carbon-based life or whatever. It was that for every so scientists have found a star system that are 100 light years away, which is basically in our backyard, because the galaxy, just our galaxy, is 100,000 light years wide. So it's pretty close in terms of how wide the galaxy is.
It's going to take millions of years to go from one side to the other.
But what was crazy, so the mathematically precise orbits of where the planets aligned, every 54 orbits of a planet, so in more detail, for every 54 orbits of planet A, planet B makes 36, planet C makes 24, planet D makes 16, planet E makes 12, planet F makes 8, giving successive ratios of 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 4, 3, 4. So after 54 orbits of planet A, all planets in the same relative position.
Oh, so they
so
line
if you
up.
imagine, like, so like the ones further out are moving at a faster pace. The ones further in are moving at a slower pace. So that once they all complete a rotation, they line up in the same.
Sounds manufactured to me.
Exactly. So they're like, this seems like. It is possible that this could have happened naturally, because there are certain actions and things that happen within like physics that could cause this to happen within.
But it's such an anomaly.
Grounds. But it's such an anomaly, and it's so perfect for like the sci-fi idea of there are some all-powerful aliens out there that can literally just arrange a solar system to be like, lol, look at this, made this like time, this clock, we made a solar system that's literally
our clock,
a little
now.
clock, like and there's a lot of fun, very Stellaris-y, the sort of thinking you could do around this of just like, weird, look at this. We've literally found a Stellaris-style anomaly. Like, what's going on here? Weird, you found a solar system that's like mathematically perfectly arranged. What are the odds? Like it's...
That's just like one tooltip for...
Yeah,
just pops up and then goes away again.
Cool. But yeah, really, really cool, kind of interesting discovery.
What if it's spelling something out, in Morse code?
I was trying to send a message.
Yeah, possibly.
It's just A.
So how did they discover this?
Yeah.
Just through various algorithms and
just telescopes.
Radio
telescopes.
And there'll be
perhaps.
like tiny dots of light that then they calculate when it goes dark, which is when it goes behind the sun. And then they can calculate the speed and the radius of the... It's insane what little they work with to then map a solar system like that. You can feel like the inaccuracies could be like staggeringly wide, like to get it wrong. It's like, oh, actually, no, we got it 0.1 difference on that, so the whole thing's fucked. We just got it a bit wrong.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like looking at
like I said, people say there's like sort of solar system resonance that does exist, which causes orbits and things to happen in certain patterns.
So can I see this?
Huh?
Right, if I look outside.
If you look outside,
at it.
just go out.
Or am I just looking at it organically? By
If you
just looking
get,
up into the
I think
sky?
if you get the new Samsung like digital zoom, you can like really get in there. Have you seen the zooming on the latest Samsungs?
It goes to the moon.
You're like, I saw someone on a hill and they zoomed all the way in onto a cricket match.
Yeah.
It was
It's
like
really detailed.
multiple fields away. It's insane.
That's pretty.
So
cool.
I reckon with that you could see this solar system for sure.
No need for like.
Don't need James Webb.
Telescopes.
Don't need James Webb.
No, that seems.
I'm looking forward to more James Webb info, because that is the state of the art big boy that's going to discover like how the universe
What if it
started.
shows you something you don't want to see?
I want to see it. Like what?
I don't know. What is it? What would you not want to
Just
see?
two eyes looking back,
What
but
if
it's
you
like the size of the universe.
Just a guy blink.
Those black holes are actually giant eye holes.
Are we in a tiny box?
Or you see like the edge of render distance and things popping in and out.
You know how I was talking
Fuck.
about seeing the
That'd be
edge
terrifying.
of reality the other day? I was like, wouldn't it be crazy to see, like, before you die, just the edge of the universe, like the very expanse? But Kurzgesagt have just done a video about it,
really?
about like what's at the edge of reality, or the edge of the universe. And
Nothingness.
yeah, it's very interesting. Well,
Well,
not even
but
that it's
also
nothingness.
everything exists. Like
Yeah.
time exists.
Yeah, there's also like a whole like impracticality of time and the relativity of like moving through space. Like
When there's nothing to move into.
yeah, but also it's kind of like you're coming from the past or you're coming from the future. It's really fucking wacky stuff, but it's very interesting.
The fact that they
See
can break
they've
that
got,
down.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
They're launching wooden satellites.
Ah.
Have you seen
Oh
this?
yeah, the Japanese ones. Yeah,
they've,
yeah.
Because apparently it didn't degrade under their testing. Certain type of wood, which was, I believe,
I'm guessing it doesn't-
magnolia.
It doesn't re-enter the atmosphere then. It's one of those things.
Well, this is
that-
the whole point: is that
It'll
when it
burn
re-enters,
up.
it'll burn out and just be ashes,
Not
rather
leave
than leave a load
debris.
of potential.
Really cool.
That's a cool idea.
Also, just like the idea of just having a wooden satellite is so
Yeah.
badass. It's like we used wood for thousands and thousands of years, and now it's
Yeah.
up there in space doing a thing.
I imagine that it can't be 100% wood. Obviously, it needs electronics. And
Yeah,
Imagine-
of
yeah,
course,
but it'll
of course.
wood cables.
But
This
imagine in
is a
terms
novelty.
of
Structurally,
the like the economy of it, because obviously there's so
The
many
big
up there
hardened shell.
Yeah.
that,
is-
when it gets decommissioned, just literally
That's
just turns
smart.
into ash. for
Why
the
didn't
most part.
Starlink think of that, eh? The amount of fucking Starlinks that are dropping out of the sky.
I have no idea. Maybe they are thinking about these things. I mean,
It's probably just not cost effective, is it?
What about
Maybe.
like if just hear me out a second.
Hearing you
So
out.
just with Trott talking about whether the satellite would be constructed entirely of wood.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm thinking of a situation where we could maybe have a marble-powered wooden satellite, where all the equations. are
Marble's
powered-
just glass with a funny pattern in the middle.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you know how they do those little marble runs that drop down
Yeah.
and stuff.
What is it called?
We build a really complicated, really large wooden marble computer, right?
Yeah.
And it generates energy through the kinetic movement of the marbles that we all start at the top before we launch the satellite. And then we fire it up into space.
Yeah.
And then when it gets into space, it releases the bag of marbles. And then everything starts working for a period of time until all the marbles are at the bottom.
Yeah.
I
Then you've
fucking
got to
hate
shoot
to break-
another
and
rocket.
they have one disaster where the marbles split and it just destroys 1,000 different
It's like a
satellites.
shotgun.
Yeah. Oh god, the marbles are scattering through. They're hitting several important satellites.
Just a little quickie there.
Yeah.
So the satellite reaches out of orbit, outer orbit. It's a marble construction inside a wooden case
Yes.
of magnolia.
Magnolia, yeah.
So the
Yeah,
marble,
yeah.
you're like, okay, release the tray.
Yeah. There's no gravity.
No gravity. I just want to like, how is
So
that
it
going
doesn't
to work?
It drifts out into the belt, like Ross says, gets clipped by something, shatters.
Trajectory of it is insane.
It'd be shocking that it got to that stage before they realised it didn't work. Considering we figured that out within
It's a
seconds.
gravity-based system.
We didn't think about gravity. Was it a Rudenberg machine?
Rube
Yeah.
Goldberg machine.
Gold-
That's what I'm just describing.
Rube Goldberg
But it's
machine.
so complex and at such scale. Imagine how big it would have to be to have like the capability to be a computer.
Like Mousetrap, but
Yeah.
in space.
Like something Seth Bling would make in Minecraft.
Seth Bling.
Playing.
Yeah.
What a callback.
I think he still makes stuff.
He makes a lot of stuff in Escape Simulator now.
Ah.
Fun fact.
Oh yeah, you tried
Stumbled
to
across.
that, didn't you?
I did. They keep sending me DLC, those. Bless them.
Oh,
Because I made that duo map
well, that's good.
for
of
you
them.
two to...
Oh, well, it escapes him. Yeah.
I made that whole thing. They like that. Bless them.
That's good, isn't it? We should talk about that Willy Wonka event that happened.
Yeah, go on.
I feel like I've heard it. I'm surprised how viral it went. Like I think
Yeah.
Americans are talking about this.
It's
stupid
miserable.
thing.
It's miserable.
But
People
essentially,
love
they
seeing a miserable thing.
I like the title.
was it
here.
in where was it in Glasgow? Was it in Edinburgh? Was it in
Oh,
Scotland?
it's
somewhere?
UK based. No, don't put it on us.
Yeah. So it was a Willy. It was, sorry, it's called Willy's Chocolate Experience. So I'm guessing they didn't have the rights to use the full Willy Wonka.
No.
And you'd probably find to say Willy's Chocolate Experience, which could be anything, really.
Willy's
When you really
Chocolate,
whittle it
Willy's-
down, that title could be anything.
It's such a bad
The Willy Experience.
The
$44
equivalent of
each.
$44, which I swear I saw someone say it was
Fuck.
over £100 a ticket for some instances.
For VIP.
It wasn't
me.
affiliated with the Warner Brothers movie,
Of course not. Yeah.
but the marketing came as close as possible to suggesting it was based on Roald Dahl's creation. in which basically from the photos, which we'll have to describe to you, they made this very interesting PR stuff, which out of AI. So
All
magical
AI
worlds, candy, sticks everywhere, and it was all lit very well. But it was just done in like an empty, abandoned warehouse with like a couple of very loose themed kind of items based around. So there's like a little shitty looking cloud and a rainbow thing that's very cobbled together just in the middle of this like a grey warehouse.
Fuck me.
And like I think there's also some pictures of just like some printouts of scenery, which is like which again is like a printer, but like how big would you say that is on that wall?
It doesn't even fill the wall.
There's like a 2 by 2 meter square picture printed badly that looks like one of those sort of knockoff beach towels. And it's on a wall that's probably about 5 by 3 meters.
So
it's sort of like it takes up about a third of the wall.
So the magic is not really there. And it's just very, it's just a very loose.
What's weird is
Candyland.
Some of this looks decent.
Some of the props,
like some of these mushrooms and stuff,
candy canes and stuff.
It's just so sparse.
But it's so sparse. That's the thing.
There's
if you had a ton of this, it would look great.
The floor is a grey carpet.
And then there's like 6 freestanding props.
Freestanding props, like a mushroom,
They're
a
all
candy
just spread
cane,
around.
a lollipop.
And
you got this
some
horrible
plants and stuff that
fabric backdrop that looks like a factory, but it looks like a photo studio backdrop.
It's
like freestanding.
But they had actors. They hired actors for it as well. There was a guy who was hired to be Willy Wonka himself, or I guess he must have had a slightly different.
Well,
Willy.
He was quite upset because he feels like it's going to damage his public profile. He said. Because being associated with this,
right?
He wanted to try and get into the acting thing, and he's like, "Now my face is all over these newspapers of like the shit Willy Wonka." That's just like
you could probably play into it in some way. I don't think this would have ever been like a serious role that would have launched it.
No, this was it.
Like
apparently, his script was AI as well.
It was an AI script, and apparently the enemy that they kind of created was called like the Unknown.
Right.
And it was just like a kind of a freaky mask and like a cloaked character that kind of hid behind a mirror.
God, it sounds so bad.
So, here comes the Unknown, and then he would like kind of dance his head around the mirror in a very weird way. And there's also like an Oompa Loompa, which is just a very sad, upset-looking woman with green wig on.
The thing is, this is so clearly like the makings of like a real kind of like shite of like
all charlatan crap.
Charlatan, that's it. Yeah, like it's like somebody's tried, like, but they've used so many shortcuts. Like that's the thing. It's like AI, the AI thing especially. It's a very interesting case study for people using AI to try and create and speed something up, and then it
falls flat.
Yeah, just coming apart because of just how
I mentioned people that aren't aware of AI art see this wondrous like Willy Wonka recreation.
Yeah.
Like it looks incredible.
Yeah.
That creates that
really
expectation.
Well. It looks like there's projectors involved from the promo images.
Yeah.
It looks really good. But like, they've half-assed it in the most
so the comparison of the two images we're looking at here is particularly
stark.
The one that the AI generated to promote the event looks like the highest end modern theme park you can think of, where there's lights in the ceiling, lights in the floor. The sides, either side of this walkway tunnel thing, have like lighting, greenery, huge real looking props. It looks like a real
the
Willy
sky
Wonka.
Is in space as well.
Yeah. It looks like it's achievable just about, but by like absolute top end designers. The reality of it looks like a strip mall with a prop. You know when you see those like
strip mall.
You see those like plastic dogs outside of shops that collect money. Like it looks like the same as that.
Like just a scattering of a few.
Did you hear what
he
also gave the kids?
Like a
single jelly bean and like
a quarter of a cup of Schweppes.
Like Tesco lemonade or something.
Yeah. So he got like a complimentary drink, and it was just quarter of a can of
lemonade.
Schweppes out of a can.
Oh god! Imagine like the parents having to like tell the kids.
It would just be so depressing. I don't even like. It would just be so shit. And obviously they were complaining afterwards. So
I mean, you would, wouldn't you? You'd rip it. Like, that's the thing. Like I think if I'd gone to this, I would very much have no problem just going, this is total garbage, guys. like you need to
£44.
You need to give me my money back. This is rubbish. You know,
they're probably trying to convince their kid that this was a good thing almost, or themselves. Because obviously when you spend X amount of money on something, you also kind of want to sell it to yourself.
It's going to be a big day out, right?
You do, but at the same time,
you don't want to feel like you were duped into it, but clearly you were.
But you were, and it was an effective duping. I don't think the people who got duped need to feel bad. What it is you almost have to go with a smile on your face to the person who's responsible to just go, come on.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
There is a video of them accosting the guy.
Yeah, they called the police apparently on it.
Well, yeah, because he was a fucking idiot. He just set this shitty event up and clearly. I mean, the thing is, you can't repeat that event. You can do that once and that's it.
There was a Minecraft one. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
similar to that.
Ago. Yeah. There was a similar.
It was sold as a really fancy, awesome event. It was really naff.
Yeah,
had barely anything there.
God,
I can't remember what it was called, but yeah.
And the thing is, some of the actual well-made events are a bit depressing to go to. Do you know what I mean? Obviously they can't really compare necessarily into this, but fucking hell.
I always try and get my head
miserable.
around it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, the why people go to events, how do you put on a good event? And because TwitchCon's coming up, there's going to be TwitchCon in Rotterdam this year.
Maybe the last ever, right?
I think the last ever.
Smith's calling it. It might be the last ever.
I've been saying this for a while, but I don't know how long Twitch is going to be around. Enjoy it whilst it lasts.
They keep saying they're not making any money.
No. But anyway, that's happening in Rotterdam. But we were at the last one in Las Vegas, and it's very odd. It's odd. It's hard to work out. We've been to so many different kinds of conventions now. We've been to TwitchCons, we've been to E3s, we've been to Insomnia events, we've been to what else? Random store launch style events. We've been to the Razer store opening. There's lots of different experiences we've had of trying to bring fans to an event. What do they get? What do they experience? What do they see? And what do they value as well? Because I remember a time where I was, perfectly excited to go to an event as a punter, let's say. Before we did YouTube even, I would I'd like the idea of going to a gaming event just to see gaming brands on a shelf and stuff like that,
Yeah, but nowadays, those conventions are just different arrangements of the same brands.
Yeah, it does feel
going
like that.
to all the conventions.
And Amazon exists now, so you can kind of just get it off the from there.
It's quite cool to see new tech and stuff. Occasionally you'll see an indie thing, a startup that's oh, this is really interesting. But mostly it's the big brands with the big booths that are there every time, like Logitech and HyperX and
also
Razer.
why should you pay for that? Is my other question.
To go into a new store,
well, I guess
essentially.
You're walking through a sea of adverts.
Yeah, you work a lot of these conventions. There's a few talks and shit, but half the talks are rubbish. We've been part of talks in the past. Some of them have been fine, some of them have been fun. As long as the audiences have enjoyed it, that's what we've wanted to do. But they ask you crazy shit. We once got told. Remember the thing we did in the V&A Museum in London?
Yeah.
Where they asked us to do a talk on basically how to become a YouTuber, and we were well. It's a lot of
bit of luck, really.
Yeah, it's hard to go these are all the skills you need and all the conditions you need to thrive. We didn't really know how to teach that as well. I think we've been doing it for 4 or 5 years.
Real fine line between a lifestyle coach and an inspirational speaker.
Yeah,
I didn't want to feel like a charlatan.
Exactly.
Most people sell courses on how to win at YouTube and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just feels like you don't fucking know what you're talking about.
And
no one does.
And everyone and all these people who do it just got that by through luck.
Yeah. I mean,
they got a lucky break.
All power to him. Spiffing Brit, very highly successful at what he did, but it didn't work for us, the advice he gave us, which is fair enough.
But that's the thing. Some stuff works for other people.
It doesn't work for everyone. It's a completely different experience.
Yeah, it's not an easily teachable thing.
No.
You can't just guide someone and say, oh, you can be a master. Because I
think the problem is as well, the bigger you are, the more you probably inflate your ego into thinking, I know how this all works.
Yeah.
I've beaten the system. Why wouldn't I impart this wisdom onto other people?
You listen to Mr. Beast and all his advice and stuff, but if you copied everything he did, you would never get to where he is.
No.
That's just not how that works. That's not how YouTube works. It's not how the algorithm works.
Although I'd argue the one time it did work for someone like that was Jacksepticeye, because he used to be a fan of PewDiePie, entered a competition to get his video shown or something like that, and then he got catapulted into
where?
On PewDiePie's channel.
Oh right, that's through a collaboration technically.
It was a competition.
Yeah.
So.
But I guess And
So like being on someone
real
else's channel
challenge is-
made him huge.
The real challenge is to keep it going once you get lucky. I guess
Yeah.
that's something you could probably kind of teach, but to
Yeah.
a degree. But even then,
And don't become an arsehole.
yeah,
And or already be an arsehole and have your public life expose the various failings
Exaggerate
in your
your
own life that you
arseholeness.
haven't actually addressed.
Yeah.
That's always a tough one because you get idolized so quickly. And then you're like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not a fully formed person. And this life doesn't necessarily lend you to becoming even more formed.
Well, we know so many that like became famous still in their teens.
Yeah.
And then their whole adult life is being a YouTuber or
Yeah,
streamer. And it's
yeah.
like, that's...
I think the thing that comes up the most is how people just find it quite isolating.
yeah.
Because
It's
they all just
super
start
isolating.
in their bedroom, like, oh, that's a dream job. I can just work in my bedroom and that's it. And it's like, yeah, sure. Like it's great for a bit. But then they all kind of say how isolating
Horrible
and
it
lonely.
is,
and
yeah.
realize you don't work with anyone. You just do everything yourself, or you overwork because you're working till like 5.
It is a dream job. But
They're very different. You can't, yeah.
there's so many aspects of it that you can't tangibly say this is hard to people that work hard day-to-day jobs.
Oh, yeah. It's very
Like
different.
from the perspective of the consumer, this looks piss easy. Like you just turn up for a bit, you play games for a living, and then you record and edit and throw it up. Easy peasy. But it comes with the mental stress, dealing with people that give you immediate feedback and all that stuff, just surface level stuff that like makes this job hard, is taking a fucking beating from your audience and having everything exposed and having that paranoia of everything going away tomorrow as well. The instability of the job is always
yeah,
a
it could
fun one.
disappear. Yeah.
It's not a very natural human state to be in.
No.
I think is part of the problem. Same with actors as well. I think.
Yeah.
Like same with like people in the public eye in general. It's not easy. I think like it's not compatible with a healthy human a lot of the time. I think that like if you think about like tribal structures and things like that and how like people used to be and how some people used to be, like the people that others looked up to, be it like a cultural leader, be it an actual tribal leader or whatever. And I think that's about as much stress as the human brain ever would
The
go under in
biological
terms of like
human brain.
yeah, or even being a parent, as well as like that kind of form of stress where you have these people that look up to you and rely on you.
You're responsible for, yeah.
Yeah, and you have that, and that's a huge challenge. And I think that's where naturally those challenges come up as a human being. But then if you're a person in the public eye that has an audience or you make your money from putting yourself out there ultimately, that's it's a stress of its own. It's kind of a weird kind of stress, isn't it, that definitely takes a
certain
toll.
things that like, because of the internet culture, I think people's filters are completely different now. Like you would be exposed to like thoughts and opinions and things of yourself that you would never hear because there's a cultural level of respect. Like you wouldn't just walk into a room full of people and they all turn to look at you and make verbal comments about you and how you're speaking.
Yeah.
It's like boring. All right. Why is he blinking so much? Oh, you look pretty ill today.
Yeah.
Like tired or something.
That's very true. Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that's
your mum said that to me in real life.
yeah, she did. She did.
So I'll never forget. There's something that sticks with you. Just like, I was like, oh no, I'm fine. She's like, no, you look really ill. I was like, okay. So it does happen.
it's an anomaly. Yeah. But
Well,
imagine that on
The
Max.
thing is, like,
Yeah.
but the other counter argument, what other people would say is, I guess that like that's part and parcel of doing it. Like if you
Yeah.
didn't want to do it, you just stop. Which
But
I kind of agree with. Like if you can't really handle it, don't do it.
Well, the problem
Because obviously you can get a different job. We could get a different job. If we couldn't handle it, obviously we've learnt to over the years.
yeah,
Just stop.
It's still the best job you can get. I think
Yeah.
that's the
it's
thing.
hard to
Like-
fall off.
But
it,
that's
though.
why you stay on it, though. Like,
Yeah.
just leaving because it's stressful is one thing, but like, I think it's also the fact that it's like you stress yourself because it's worth it.
And then also it depends on
Like-
how big you are, because obviously,
Yeah.
like you've got all these people who are leaving at the moment on YouTube, whatever. They've made millions.
Yeah.
They're sat on a massive wad of cash, and it's like, cool, they can leave. They could leave. They could have left years ago.
I
Yeah.
don't think that
It's like-
frame of
that's a
mind
very
ever
different-
works, though. That's the thing. Like when you get more, you see the next bar.
Yeah, but like as in they are comfortable enough
They
could
can
leave
Yeah,
and be like, okay, I'm financially secure.
yeah, they
But
can.
What
Probably
price
the
do
rest
you
of
put
my-
on your mind,
whereas it's
basically,
more of a case
and they're
of-
putting a high price for some reason.
Yeah.
Like if we
yeah.
blew up tomorrow,
Yeah.
I think our mentality would
Well,
be
not
like
physically, right? Like,
not physically,
okay, good.
but like as in the mentality towards it would be slightly different, and obviously we might change the way we work.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I really want to do this then. Okay, well, let's do that then. Let's do
Mm.
that because we know that that's, something we all want to do,
Mm.
and we can, we're financially stable. Whereas
Well, there's no
there is an
structure.
element of we rely on this as a job.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
it's a very different
And also, like,
way of thinking for some people.
there's a physical labor job that hurts you physically and will probably give you like continual back
problems,
pain.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this is mental
Yeah.
problems.
There are cultural upsides and downs. Sorry, not cultural. Like physical and mental costs to every
both
different
types of
kinds of jobs. Like,
But like, the difference with this specific industry, whereas other industries where it has more established like hierarchies and things like that, and things in place to support people like HR departments in corporate businesses, Hollywood has a structure of like having agents who work for you and help you. When you do YouTube and you just explode, you're on your own. You're exposed to like the top line of things, and you have no support structure to help you at all. Like it's quite like with Yogscast, we're quite like unique in our case. Like we still have a network of people that are around us. Sure, it's not a support structure. Everyone's like horizontal.
yeah.
There's no HR department or whatever. But yeah, it's like most people are in their fucking bedrooms exploding online and being exposed to all of this.
Those ones are making
Bullshit.
huge money. The
There
ones
you go.
exploding
The ones
online.
explode
Those ones
online.
are really making the money, I hear.
Yeah. So I can see
It's a
why
weird
there's
thing. Is, like
so much mental
you don't want
instability.
you don't want to talk about any of that stuff because ultimately, I don't think people can relate to it. To be like, oh, well, they are just playing games, and that is what everyone sees. And why would you talk about anything else? As in, we're not going to,
I think it's
you don't want to bring
interesting.
people down.
Yeah, it's
Or,
like
like,
watching
talk
a
about-
celebrity complain, right, about their life.
Exactly, but and obviously, in real
Yeah, there's
terms,
elements of poor me to it, but at the same time, you can still
Yeah.
share what you think, and people can just be
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"Okay,
yeah.
that's interesting."
It's relatable.
Like they can
yeah.
be like, "Oh, poor you," like for
Well, I
sure.
think literally,
but like, fuck, they could also just be interested.
you know the streamer Hassan.
Yeah.
He literally had this very discussion last week, I think.
Right.
And obviously, then it got huge backlash from people saying how easy his job was.
Right.
But then his job is he's literally like making political commentary all the
Yeah,
time. and
he's really
constant
exposing
backlash
himself.
to like
Yeah.
to all sorts of fucking shit, which is
Yeah.
just like probably way more of a head fuck to do
Yeah.
that. We're not.
Like
We
Dr.
aren't
Simon
out there
Clark as
being
well.
controversial and shit. are we?
I'd hate his comment
Yeah.
set up with drawing in polarizing opinions
Yeah.
about climate change. Holy
Yeah.
crap, that
Yeah.
would depress me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
fair play.
Also,
to
it
him.
makes you become such an arsehole. Like I've definitely noticed it in myself over the last few years, where I'm like trying to defend positions, because it is similar to like like you were saying earlier about when you see comments. It's not if you're in a room, a person may try and form a counter argument to what you're saying in a conversational manner. But if you're online, you'll get like 3 to 5 words about what you've just said.
just
And it's
stream
like,
of consciousness.
that's pretty
yeah.
dumb, or something like that,
Yeah.
and you're out there like trying to put your thoughts or feelings on the line, and then you get that kind of reception. You're like, I get it, like they're just putting their 5 cents in, and I shouldn't take it to heart, but at the same time I want to try and involve people in the conversation, because I wouldn't be bothered to talk about it
Yeah.
if I didn't care a little bit about what people thought, or rather wanting to like have that conversation. So like,
I feel like in the scenario where you're the speaker and you have an audience of people that can interact with you, there's almost like a competitive element to get your thought out before it gets like pushed away from chat.
yeah
So there's like a speed element. You don't have time. It's like you have your 10 seconds now.
yeah
Form your argument
yeah.
and give me context as to why you're
Yeah.
about to say your gaming is dumb. Instead, they've only got time to say your gaming is dumb without, in my opinion, just based on what you're doing right now, no disrespect or anything, but I
Yeah.
think you might be playing dumb.
yeah
They don't have time to type all that out.
yeah no,
So-
for sure, and I totally get that. I do, and so I try to bear that in mind. It's just like you said about Hassan, like when you're talking about such complex and such impactful things, something that has an impact on a lot of people's lives, like it must be incredibly, you're being vulnerable, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is the hard thing to do.
But yeah, we don't really bait that kind of discussion. It's normally just
Yeah.
bad gameplay and you're doing it wrong, or why haven't you updated what skill? Your skill point's still there. It's just like who gives a fuck?
Why can't you see
It's
that
like-
on screen?
Those type of things, just aren't important.
No,
Mhm.
not
So
really.
That's fine.
But when you hear them 1,000 times, it's like a death by 1,000 lashes.
Yeah, it's just
In a
annoying.
way,
It's not
it
just
does weigh you
annoying more than
down.
anything. It's just like, but you also chose to watch it. You don't have to watch.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. It's like if someone's that annoyed to rant,
You could say that about,
you
like,
don't have to, do you?
Any competitive game where you're in there and you're angry.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like you didn't have to play this game, but you're angry. But
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
invested. That's fair enough.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think that it's really good to have like the ability to say to someone like, take a breath, like step back for a second,
Stand
like,
down.
Yeah, without like, because for sure, like certain games, like there's certain games on there, like GTA, Helldivers does it to me as well. Like where it gets you really irritable really quickly because you like care so much about like what you're trying to achieve.
The game is successful in getting you involved in it.
Yeah, exactly. You get so invested, and then when things go wrong, you're just like, for fuck's sake, and you're like, whoa, take a fucking breath.
And then someone like gives you some shit, and then you're in that heightened state of irritation.
Yeah.
And you're going to rile them up with your comment.
And you just feel that poison pulsing through you, like you really do. It is really annoying. Like I feel very annoyed with myself when I get into those, like when I'm in that state of mind. It's a very hard thing to unravel.
Part of me feels it's unfair sometimes how much control we have over the audience as well. Like we get to just mute, ban, and remove whatever we want. So it's like ultimately I have the final say. Like my opinion is the most important thing. I can just mute you, and I feel like in a way that's not very democratic sometimes. If they're right and I'm wrong, I'm just going to silence you.
It depends if you're having a back and forth conversation, or if someone's literally just being obtuse just to do that, or maybe they're saying something oddly offensive but they thought they were joking, or you can't really get tone across through
you
text,
really can't,
which is quite hard sometimes, because sometimes somebody will say something really off color. It's like, whoa, what did they just say? Like, you don't know who I am. Probably just trying to banter in the same way, and so it's a bit difficult sometimes.
Like we don't know who you are.
It's like when people do that in real life and they don't know you. That's quite weird.
Jumping in with jokes that have taken years of trust and like general knowing someone to get to that point. You can't just like leapfrog in. It's weird.
And it's also, and then there's the read the room element of it, where like they do stuff like that, and it's really like, I don't want to be mean to people. Like I don't actually like being mean. I like taking people under my wing. I like trying to understand people who are strange. I think it's interesting and nice. But when people misinterpret things like that and they like step over the line of familiarity, let's say, with a joke like that or a statement like that, you want to like, your immediate response is like, what the fuck? And you want to kind of say like, maybe don't do this, like as in like you want to be gentle.
But it just makes it so awkward.
But and it's like, dude, life lesson moment here, or person, whoever's done it, life lesson, like don't do this kind of thing. Like as in, if you think it's a good idea, it might not be. And I don't want to put people off like making jokes about our content. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's not going to end your life or mortify.
It's more effective when it's in person.
Yeah, but like, but there's no moment to then have that interaction to be like, hey, just a heads up, like. Maybe
usually it's in a queue and you've got 10 seconds.
So it's just really hard to like help modulate those kind of things, I suppose.
Someone said to me the other day.
What?
I was in a queue. I went to the theatre with a mate, which is a rare thing to do anyway.
Is it like that hexagonal one where everyone's in their own booth?
Oh
no!
Isn't that like a jerk off thing? In the middle, like,
you didn't go to that one?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
And someone was behind us, and they're like, "Oh, you from Hat Films? I'm a massive fan." I was like, "Oh, yeah, like nice to meet you."
Were you at Hippodrome or Beacon?
This was in Bath.
Oh, okay. Right.
So yeah, theatre,
whatever the
it was like, "So do you still do it?" I was like, "Well, yeah," but like, it was the weird preface of "I'm a massive fan." It's like, well, obviously not. Do you still do it? And I was like, well, somehow yes. Yeah. But yeah, obviously, but then they caught me in the intermission and wanted a photo. But like, it's just very odd. It's just like, why would you preface that? Like, you're not, and it's just, it's very strange. But I guess they were once.
Yeah. You say massive fan. Used to be.
Used to be. Ago. And it's just like,
nowadays,
understandable you don't watch this now.
I'm an adult. I've got.
It's just a very weird thing to say afterwards. Just like, oh.
A lot of people are caught,
caught off guard as well.
Caught
nerves and stuff. Sometimes,
they have a chance to like formulate.
Again, we're not trying to be assholes. We're not trying to be assholes here. But objectively, that's quite funny for someone to go, "I'm your biggest."
It was
fan.
Quite funny. Just
do you still
the
make
contrast.
Stuff?
Yeah. He's like, oh, okay. Well, obviously not the biggest. Then I guess.
Yeah. Well, fuck off, mate. Maybe watch a video. Yeah. Sorry, I only talk to members.
Just are you a member?
Yeah, I got this.
Are you a card carrying member?
Show me your phone, just real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, you not even subscribed anymore.
Oh no, you're a Yogscast member. Sorry.
Oh,
not interested.
Ooh.
Not interested.
Different vibe.
It's not us. We're Hat Films.
Yeah.
You're a member of Hat Gaming. Oh fuck.
Mostly though, I will say 99% of interactions with people are perfectly great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And don't feel nervous.
There was nothing
about
wrong with that
saying
interaction. It was just quite a funny.
It was a funny thing to think
to say straight after. Just
I've been jumped on. That was probably the worst time.
That jumped on was weird. That was in the train station.
That was like they think they know me too well, so much so that you can jump on me and shout my name in a train station. That was weird. Like trying to get a piggyback off me.
Was anyone you've ever watched you would ever do that to?
Boris Johnson, but I might not let him.
Well, you'd run and jump on him.
Yeah.
like a backpack.
I'd jump on him, and then I'd make sure he stayed down.
Do a little koala bear hug.
That is bizarre. That person should have. I mean, I think nowadays we're older and wiser. We'd probably be able to call that out. But I think at the time we were still like. The other thing is like our online personas are so much more different to our like day-to-day interactions with people, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm not high energy all the time.
Yeah, we are still so like fucking amped up during like gaming streams and the things we say and the pace at which we're doing it. It's literally like 20-year-old us. So everybody's still like jumping around like 20-year-olds. Then in real life, when we're still like when we're in our mid-30s,
I don't want to do
now,
that. Yeah,
it's like please don't jump on me, dude. My back will go.
Yeah, true.
We'll be replacing ourselves with AI.
Well, eventually, I hope so.
It's so far ahead. You won't even notice.
You shouldn't do. Then I can replace it in my normal life as well and just sit nowhere.
Well, you could just sit with your headset on and obviously live the real reality.
Yeah, I just watch myself
inside
my AI version.
Your own AI.
Like living my life in third person.
Mm-hmm.
All right, how can we round this one off then? We've managed to do 45 minutes, by the way, which is impressive.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that at all.
There was another person here who was selling bottled farts.
Sick.
Singapore influencer who staged an egg attack. Well, she basically hired someone to throw eggs at her while she was on a live stream. You know, just a classic kind of like, oh look,
what
someone's
can we do?
actually throwing eggs at me, like whatever.
Right.
But it turns out they also sell their farts for $300.
It's quite frightening.
Do you think you could sell your farts? I feel like we could sell Smith's farts.
We would smell
Smithy's
a fart.
farts.
Sell a fart.
Have a
I
sniff
think
of
we
Smith.
would.
Have a sniff of Smithy.
Have a
most
sniff of
people are.
Smith.
I think that's like a kink, right?
Yeah, it would be.
But for Smith, it would be like, I have disposable income and I'm not good with my money. I'm going to buy this
You're
because it's
saying
hilarious.
that there's no possible way you could
There's no
conceive
kink. There's
that
no kink.
I can't believe how much you desexualized me.
Okay, well,
I think
no,
you've
sorry,
desexualized your own farts.
That you'd want to smell their fart.
No one. Literally no one.
Because it's strange to smell people's
Well,
farts
yeah, it
and
is
be
strange.
turned on.
Imagine spending $300 on a jar of someone's fart. Kind of gross, man. It's kind of weird.
I think
There
it's
are weird
scary
kinks.
how much some people are willing to do for
bath
money,
water.
and and also how effective they are as well. You know, like some people are.
Is there more judgment on her
or
the person buying it?
I think everyone loses, but like
Yeah.
I think that it's quite scary how money driven and how willing people are. Like I get needing a decent income to survive in modern England. Like you need a lot of money to do well.
That's an
in
easy
England.
manufacturing process as well. You just get a load of jars, build up a good fucking.
So you'd start a fart factory, Britain's first fart factory.
It's got to be good at cutting them off to make sure there's not too much in one bottle.
Like, I mean,
Cork
even like
cork it quick.
How much money would you be? Well, I mean, that's a hard question.
£300 a jar of farts. I would be selling the shit out of those.
Yeah, you would do it.
I'd degrade myself for that.
You would do.
But the thing is, we sold his hair once.
Yeah.
My pubes.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think it was actually just from your
Sprinkled some pubes in.
Some pubes were in there
Oh,
as well.
were they?
Who did? He caught a little bit and then he put a few in there. So
I
it was like
sprinkled
5.
it.
Yeah. I mean, like.
So, I mean,
yeah, but this is all satire.
We're doing it satirically.
We're not like designing, like specifically thinking and developing business strategies.
But if someone said in the chat now, they're like, "Oh, look, I will pay."
We sold a dildo.
We sold a dildo for $1,000.
Yeah, and again, it was like someone out there is going to be like, "Fucking Hat Films, look at them doing this. I'm going to be the other part of this joke and pay the £1,000." And it's like, yeah.
Do you think people who would buy the farts, not necessarily our audience, but people who are selling farts already successfully, do you think that those people receiving them are like what you would say like model citizens? Do you think that they're just regular people that happen to like them? Do you think that the kind of audience and the kind of relationship that these kind of relationships
I think you'd be surprised.
garner?
No, based off of.
Are they healthy?
They're just some dirty
I
pervert
reckon.
in this scenario.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone buying them from us would be buying it as an ironic joke.
Yeah, and
The
they.
person who bought the dildo must have done it as a stupid kind of like, that's funny. Like it's a stupid thing. I'm not going to actually practically use this
I'll
dildo.
put it on the shelf.
Yeah, it'd be funny. It'd be a funny thing to pull out, right?
But look what I got.
Just
It
like,
was
I've got a
insane.
little kind of couple of.
It's literally a hand
hair
drill with
follicles.
a silicone arm on it.
But if there was money to be made, what if we made like cock molds of each of us, and then we sold them, just on it, and you can always buy them. You can always buy just a
reckon they'd sell out?
Smith dildo, Smildo,
Well, because it's small.
Smildo.
That is already a market, though. It's like an actual
Or
market.
Smithy Stiffy.
Smithy's Stiffy. I'm
It's
sorry.
probably the product
Okay.
I'd
Well,
call
we
it.
haven't even thought about marketing yet. I've only just.
Trott's Todger.
Yeah.
But do you think people would buy them as a funny? Because you could buy the set, you could buy all three of them.
And they
as a
interlock, which is
suction-
because they're perfectly sized. They're like
And they
Russian
can
dolls.
Interlock. You have to decide who you think's.
Well, they're going to be unnamed.
They'll be
Just
like
so-
Yeah.
Perudo cups.
You'll get the Hat Films 3. And
Stackable.
it'll always be a set of 3.
We could have the horn, Ross Hornby's horn.
What's Hornby's horn?
The Horn of Hornby.
You can blow into that one.
Yeah, it makes a noise. It makes a noise.
Real blowable
Incredible.
action. They've all got a gimmick. Ross's is blowable.
Yeah.
Mine you can open car doors with. It's so rigid. Like it's a pry bar inside.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
covered in latex.
Wow.
Mine's made entirely of cum.
Trott's is freeze-dried jism. Don't get it wet.
Oh my god.
It's scented.
That'd be pretty gross.
Well,
Wash
good
with
one.
hot water only.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great way to finish.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's a product
So
that
gross.
we could release, but we won't. Or will
but
we?
I am
There's enough money.
slightly concerned the impact that this person selling $300 farts may be having.
I think they only sold one, which, if anything,
They're like
is-
bath
that looks
water.
worrying.
Oh. That's just our main carrier. Carry on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I think we're still on.
Carry on.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I think she just sold one. So yeah, very strange.
And that is the, what if there's a market for it?
use
then
that
yeah.
camera there. Apparently, I think this one's a bit blurry. But anyway, that's a great way to finish.
Oh, it is a bit very weird.
And so are our 3 limited edition sex
Yeah.
toys. A great way to finish.
Lol.
Thank you very much to our Patreons, to our Twitch subs, and our YouTube members for supporting this podcast. It exists because you give us some money.
That's nice.
We hope you enjoy it. Let us know if there's anything you'd like us to talk about in the next one with our email, hatchat@hat-films.com. And, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. See you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
And thanks, Robert Clark, for this fingal.
Thanks, Robert.